Hello and welcome to the Comic Conspiracy Podcast, episode 451 for the week of May 5th, 2020. That sounds right. My name is Ryan Higgins, who's here with me this week.
Brock Sager.
Hey.
Kevin Sharp.
No.
And Charlie.
So the problem, Toby, is that, again, please introduce yourself properly, because there's a not 0% chance that this could be someone's first episode and they think you are Kevin. And you're not Kevin. Your name is Toby. So, Toby, please say your name. Say your name so the people... say your name so the people listening know who you are.
Mark Spector.
That is Toby. And I'm just not even going to bother anymore. We are going to record a podcast here about comic books. Good. Okay. Some news. More news. Lots of news. Man, for nothing going on, so much stuff is going on in the world of comic books. We're so close.
It's like when comic books are coming out, we don't get any news. But when comic books aren't coming out, we get a ton of news.
We got a shipment of comic books today. I got a big stack of... well, not big stack. I got like 2 boxes of DC Comics today. It's great. New books are shipping. We're getting some stuff. Mm-hmm. Love it. Now we just got to wait for,
Diamond to catch up?
Yeah, close. We're almost there. 20th, a couple weeks. We're gonna have more news in a minute here about what books are coming out, solicitation, blah blah blah. I got a lot of info on that to share. However, we're gonna start with the big one. Hashtag Creators for Comics. That is the big charity that was done on Twitter and a few other social media platforms to raise money for comic book stores. Has raised $433,000 for comic book stores. That is going to be paired up with the money Jim Lee has been continues to make on the auctions for his artwork, and a few other charities that have gone out there. This all goes towards the BINC. I don't have it here written in front of me. The book was it the Book Industry Charitable Foundation? So for the comic book stores and comic book store employees that put in for this grant money, they're going to be getting some money. I don't know how much. So they could start. They're going to start giving out the money in May, middle of May, so a few weeks. But yeah, this is coming out. That's pretty good. I mean, they sold a lot of stuff. So some of that stuff went for quite a bit of money. So
now, Ryan, be honest. Did you actually place a bet on that death Jim Lee one?
No. I'm getting money. I'm not giving money.
But that was really
with the
nice.
money you get, will you retroactively go bid on that death Jim Lee?
No. I do not think we'll be getting enough money to win any of the Jim Lee pieces. No. And I would...
But they're doing a book or something at the end of it, aren't they?
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah, we don't have a lot of info on that.
If you had enough money for one piece, would you get the Jim Lee or would you get the Art Adams piece?
For the death one?
Yeah.
I mean, I'd get the Jim Lee. They're both really good. They're different. Yeah. They're very different. But Jim's piece is amazing.
Yeah. It went for $19,100.
Did it really?
Yeah.
Holy shit! Yeah, I didn't even.
Sold already?
I didn't see the price.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah, it finished earlier this morning, I think, or yesterday.
That's crazy.
I was actually watching it because I was like, I was just curious to see what it was going to go for.
Were you going to try and snipe it? Be honest.
Oh, no. I don't have that kind of money. It gave me like a 15-minute notice, and it was at 15,000. So that thing jumped $4,000 in 15 minutes.
Yeah. So that's what happens. So I mean, I think Jim's going to clear. I mean, he could hit him. I don't know. He could hit $750,000 or maybe $1 million by himself. Like, there's a lot. Plus, yeah, the book. Whenever they do that, that's down the road. That's all going towards the same Creators for Comics Foundation. And there's been a few others. I actually wish I had the info here on it because it just went up. Comic book. Let me actually see if I can find it really quick because multiple of these have now gone up. God, I feel terrible because I don't have it in front of me here. Maybe I'll take a look at it during the episode as we're recording. But there's there's the BINC, which is donating money to comic book stores and comic book store employees in the U.S. There's the Insider Art, which is a comic book fundraiser. It's a book that's coming up. It's an anthology with other various collectibles, signed prints, blah blah blah. Being put in Shelley Bond, who's a longtime comic book editor. She's the one working on it, and it's going towards female and non-binary comic book retailers specifically. Gail Simone, Kelly Sue DeConnick, Katrina Robbins, Jonna Clixton Flores, Vida Ayala, and other people are going to be working on that. There's a suggested retail price of $9.99 for the digital anthology, and then there's going to be some specific some fabrics, some other auctions that they're going to be running. Some stuff. Becky Cloonan's going to have a signed art print, so that's all going to go to those comic book store retailers specifically. There's also a Canadian one and an Australian one, and an Irish one. I think there's one that started, I think, just this morning for Irish comic book stores and our friends over at Big Bang. So there's a couple of these out there. There's still a lot of really good creators. Tom Taylor's obviously heavily involved in the Australian one because he's one of the big creators over there. So outside of the American comic, obviously the American comic industry is very large, but there's other ones out there for other people. So I'm going to try to get together a list of that. Maybe next week I'll have some more of those. I forgot all that stuff went through this week, and I didn't add it to my list. I feel bad. But they're out there. They're out there. Go look up comic book store charities. There's a few of them. So a lot of money being raised. Obviously there's a lot of people putting in for it, so it's not like we're going to get tens of thousands of dollars or anything like that. But, everybody else.
Yep.
So for comic books coming out, obviously this is the thing a lot of stores are hoping for. Still, a lot of stores are going to be closed. Before I get too far into this episode, speaking of charity and helping out comic book stores, this would be the perfect time to mention this. I had it on my list, but I was going to mention it later, but it actually goes right along with this. We had a few T-shirt designs in mind for the store. And let me get the full URL here. And this was a while ago. We were going to make them just for the store. Leanne had said, "Hey, why don't we, get these and get it for the store, and you could sell them, try to raise some extra money." But there's a production time on them. They're not cheap, right? It's not really cheap to get these shirts made. So we were poking around, and Custom Ink, which is the t-shirt making company we've used before to make our t-shirts, they actually have a fundraising option. So nice. On it, you could set a goal to make. You have to make just a certain amount of shirts. It's very small in order for them to have enough to print to make it worthwhile. So we did it. They actually contacted us right away and said, "Hey, we can do other colors, other cuts." So we have a T-shirt designed by Leanne for the store. It comes in gray, black, or blue. It's a nice kind of like that looser fabric. It's not like a heavy cotton. It's that sort of that real popular kind of looser, thinner design. Comes in men's and women's cuts, every size you need. Kids to quadruple X. So tons of different designs, tons of different sizes. The direct URL is customink.com/fundraising/support-comics-conspiracy. Obviously, it's very long. Go on the store or my own personal Twitter account. They're on there. It's the pin page on our Facebook page. It's one of the headers of our website with a direct link there. There's 9 days left where you can buy this. It's kind of a set amount of time, $25 for the shirt. And they mail it directly to you, or you can get it sent to the store for no additional charge. But if you want to mail to you, it's just a couple bucks. So if you want to help support the store, there's a shirt you can buy. So we actually have another design that I think we're going to bring to the store as well. So we'll probably do that a little bit down the road. I don't think we're going to do maybe not quite the same fundraising thing, but once we're open, we'll have that other shirt as well. So do not forget. It ends on. We'll have one more episode before it ends. Yeah, it ends on the 15th. So you have a little bit of time to grab the shirt. Not up for too long, and then I don't know. We could always pick them up and get them in the store later. But for now, a little extra money to help the store.
Nice.
As we wait for May 20th. Again, as much as we do sell DC Comics, it's not the only thing we sell. We need to sell all comic books. So you guys obviously have heard California may be entering phase 2 of its reopening plans. Does that affect any of you guys?
Not at the moment.
Okay.
No, it doesn't. The only effect it would have on me is at the shop, whether or not we would be the curbside pickup would be the additional change. But other than that, no.
So I was curious about that in terms of phase 2, because I saw within California, not within here, but within California, they included bookstores in phase 2. Mm-hmm. That means you'd be able to potentially open the shop as a bookstore where people could actually come in, or would that be just for like curbside pickup?
So official word is on Thursday. So we'll find out for sure exactly. It said curbside for bookstores, toy stores, which that is us. We'd be counted as a bookstore. There's a few other sporting goods stores, florists, things where there's no customer to employee contact, right? Maybe that would go to like antique stores as well. So, obviously it would have to be things with an internet presence because as far as I know, it is curbside only.
Yeah.
Now, Bay Area, there's 7 counties here that have extended the lockdown to May 31st. Gavin Newsom said that local ordinances override the state ordinance. So if your county says nope, then we're not opening. So as of right now, I don't believe we'll be part of this. That could change on Thursday. We don't know. And it could change next week. It could change in 2 weeks, right? I mean, as of right now, I would think it's not going to happen. I think Santa Clara County will continue the shelter in place through the end of the month, and then it could open, but we don't know. So for the time being, I'm operating like nothing is really changing. So at FOC, our orders were pretty much subscription only. I got a couple extra copies of the Marvel and DC books. I'm ordering them like I would want them to be at the end of the week. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Because clearly we're not going to have the walk-in. At least I don't think we're going to have the walk-in.
Aren't these books supposed to be returnable? For
some companies and for DC they are.
Okay.
But I still have to pay for them. Right?
No. That's a given. But I'm just wondering, how much does that influence your how many you get over, or are you just still kind of?
Unfortunately, based on the 2 weeks we received product for during the lockdown, those first 2 weeks, and last week's digital sales. I mean, obviously, it was a very small amount, right? Those very few books. Digital sales on those, or online sales on those, and online sales on our book order, we are just not getting enough additional orders past subscribers to make it worth the risk.
Yeah.
So we're getting some, but not much.
Yeah.
Now that could change when there's a full new release of books out, but I don't know where the walk-in people are going. If they're expecting to walk back into a comic book store in 6 weeks or 3 months or 6 months and pick up everything, the walk-in people are mostly gone. Those sales are just gone. Like I don't think we're going to get those back. If they're not a subscriber, oh well, sorry.
Yeah.
So yeah, subscription numbers are basically all we're going with. Again, select a little bit over, but
yeah.
Very, very few. Some graphic novels, obviously, but but very, very, very additional. Very few additional orders. But yeah, we'll find out. We don't know, right? Mm-hmm. We don't know what's going to happen, but we'll know as it gets. We'll have more on Thursday, so I'm sure we'll have a lot more to say next week. But in the meantime, Diamond, DC, Image, all the Diamond catalog stuff, Marvel, their release schedule, everything's up. This is all official. Now, we talked about some of this last week when it wasn't official, because we had the early FOC list and blah, 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 and all that changed during the week. It's why I always say be very careful. FOC does not mean, it's not final till Friday. So, obviously, what we were saying was not 100% true. Or, it was true at the time, but it just didn't stick through the rest of the week.
Yeah.
So, what Marvel is doing, Marvel is going to start their releases on May 27th. Now, what they're going to do is they're going to go flip back and forth between comic books on May 27th, graphic novels on June 3rd, comics on June 10th, graphic novels on June 17th, and then a bigger mix June 24th, July 1st, July 8th. There's June 24th. Wait, is this list wrong? June 10th. No, that's right. It's weird because it says June 24th. It's actually a mix of graphic novels and singles. Wednesday, July 1st is just graphic novels, and then July 8th is a mix as well. I think this list may be backwards. But it is they're flip-flopping some comics, some trades, and then they're going to slowly build those weeks up. I mean, right now, even out is July 8th. This is a quarter of a regular Marvel month. They're basically taking the 2 weeks of books they had printed and spreading it out over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 weeks, plus the May 20th week that they're not shipping anything. So you're not going to have a normal Marvel week at this rate until mid-July, and I would think you're not going to have a normal Marvel week in mid-July. So they are padding their schedule.
Can we schedule regular physicals on Bryce to make sure he's healthy and he's got enough mass on his body?
I was going to say I'm going to send him a box with like 3 books on it in it, and he's going to call me and be like, "What the hell did you do? You killed my Marvel."
I'm quite worried.
You just need to figure out what you have on the shelf that he hasn't gotten already that you want to send him.
It's like Scott. Just send him whatever. He'll buy it.
I told you. It works every time with Scott.
Just
so, obviously, Marvel's taking this, and probably it's good to give their people a little bit of a time to kind of pad out there.
A slow build-up?
Yeah, very slow. But we do have more info from Diamond. So they're combining their next catalog. So the May and June catalog will be mixed to one. So there will be the January, February comics are shipping now because it would have been April. So it's shipping in May because of the shutdown. The March catalog, which would normally ship in May, is going to ship like through June, July. Mm-hmm. The April catalog we're working on now is supposed to be June titles, but that got pushed back to the end of May, which means the April catalog is now July. So the next previews catalog that comes out, that's going to be the May-June, which is like the combination catalog, is like August, September. So we're
going to get that into May or into June? End of
May.
Okay.
So
that'll be the 27th.
We don't have the May-June edition of their monthly catalog comes May 27th.
Okay.
So this puts it to August, September, which means we're not going to have a regular solicitation, previews catalog, and regular order till July, August for like October, November at the earliest, right? So this is going to be some pretty heavy changes to the release schedule for quite some time, which is understandable, but there's not much else I think they can do really. Let's see what it says. The April previews catalog was postponed until May 21st, with publishers currently developing their publishing schedule, balancing the retailer and consumer appetites for a new product with their own supply chain and creative team needs. Much of that product will be rescheduled through June and July, with the May and June previews primarily containing products targeted for August. So, yeah, it's going to be... we're going to get a weird few months of comic books here. Obviously, DC has started the ship already, and May 20th, if your
graphic
store
novel shipment was rough.
Well, May 20th, if you're just a Diamond store, if your comic book store is not using the alternate distributors, May 20th is going to be a fucking boatload of stuff because it's all coming at the same time.
But correct me if I'm wrong, but the past 2 weeks of DC releases have been pretty light compared to like a normal shipment anyways. Like, would you say that the past 2 weeks would be even the equivalent of 1 week worth of DC books normally?
No, but it's going to be like maybe like a week and a half.
Week and a quarter, yeah.
But also a lot of graphic novels.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Because the trades ship on a different schedule, so this was 5 weeks of graphic novels that will be shipping in 1 week.
Yeah.
The trades, because they're available from the book distributors, they're just delayed from Diamond. So that trade order I got was $2,000 wholesale, and $1,800 of that was DC. That's a lot of hardcovers, multiple omnibuses. Hey, Brock, you're absolute day tripper finally.
Yeah, day tripper finally.
So, big titles, big releases.
It was,
for graphic novels.
So
for me alone. Oh, go ahead, Charlie.
I'm curious in terms of the graphic novels and stuff. From people who order through the shop, have you seen any cancellations or anything due to the fact that a lot of this has been available elsewhere prior to you finally getting it in?
No, and we weren't too far behind. I was a little late getting the pre-orders in just because we were dealing with everything else. I wasn't sure exactly. I was kind of waiting to hear what Diamond was going to do, because it was sort of an extra step to go through the book distributors. But no, and I mean, the people that bought them from the shelf were people I expected to buy those books for the most part. We sold a couple additional, which was cool. But, when I order trades, I'm generally ordering for at least a couple weeks, if not a month of sales. So once we're open, we'll see if those extra ones I ordered move.
The Superman Up in the Sky, you actually have to get more copies because
that's sold out. Yep. Yeah, we had a bunch of pre-orders from that. What was good was all those graphic novels ended up on the Comic Hub customer site because they're available through Diamond. So customers were able to pre-order those even though we were getting them from another distributor, and we were able to fill them right away. Yeah. So I did get a lot of additional orders for the Superman Up in the Sky, the Batman Last Night on Earth. So we sold more of those than I would have had they shipped when they came in because we got those additional, that kind of second bump from new customers. Obviously a lot of the new customers we picked up, this is the funny thing about comic book stores, is we were definitely a DC heavy store, and Lee's, the store that closed, it was a very Marvel heavy store. So our Marvel numbers are went way up for a few of these books, which is great. So we're gonna have some interesting weeks in the next few weeks when I'm like, I went from like two customers for this book to like 10 some random shitty Marvel book. So hopefully you're not listening to the podcast, new customers.
No, I'm just actually wondering how many Marvel customers have to come to the store to start shifting you from a DC store towards a Marvel store.
Well, if you look at our raw numbers, it actually is closer to 50-50. Marvel just puts out a lot of stuff. Our DC graphic novel sales just blow Marvel out of the water, like 5-1 or something. So the units can shift heavier to Marvel just because of how much they put out, but the dollar amount usually always stays with DC. So it's kind of like the Diamond sales charts where it's actually a little more, it's a little closer. But I mean, even at the end of the year, DC is generally over Marvel dollar. Well, always over dollar.
Yeah.
Unit sometimes is a little closer, but yeah, comic books are going to start coming out again.
Are you ready to go back to a semi-normal schedule?
Well, I don't expect we'll be anywhere near normal anytime soon.
No, not. That's not like getting back to like new books are coming out. You know, like for us, I know just for me, it's like when we had those 2 weeks of just that of books, and then we had curbside and we were adjusting, and then it just went away. It was like 2 adjustments in 2 weeks, and so now it's like okay, we're adjusting back to that having the curbside and.
That's why I think it's a good idea for them to kind of do like a half step, because I don't need like a $4,000 diamond bill in the middle of all this, right? And it's good that they're letting us adjust everything. And actually, a good thing, and I hope Diamond does this, because they FOC'd, they put up for order adjustments everything, not just Marvel, DC, Image, and the companies that are on the FOC page. They put up everything for adjustment.
Oh, yeah, I saw that. I saw the a couple of the D&D books pop up.
We got orders for some of that stuff.
Yeah,
because it was on the order adjustment page and customers saw it. I'm really hoping Diamond so this is one of the big pitches for Comic Hub going forward, is that I think we're finally in the phase where they're going to start adding soon product from other distributors to pre-order through Comic Hub, as well as in-stock product to order.
Yeah.
So they're still moving towards it. It's not done yet, but that is in I believe kind of the next phase of work they're doing. They're doing a big UI kind of overhaul. They're combining the sites. They're doing a lot of back end work that's going to make it a lot more user friendly.
Streamlined.
The next couple weeks to couple months. I think the moving to online orders has shown some of the deficiencies in Comic Hub for the kind of confusion between the customer site and the store site and different accounts. I know Toby's had some problems with this himself. So kind of linking everything up better than it is. So I'm really excited when that gets up, because that's going to be a lot of new products that customers are going to have easy access to place orders on. So, but for now, I would love, at least for the next few months, I think Diamond's going to have every item adjustable, which some will go down, right? I cut my orders on a couple books, but actually a lot of the books I'm not getting the same numbers I would have got for the shelf, but I upped my orders from where they were when this started because of new customers coming in and new orders coming in. So we're not back to like pre-coronavirus numbers, but it's up from what I estimated, so which is great.
Yeah, and especially with that adding those other products in that people can see, like the D&D books and all that stuff. That's huge.
Well, especially because we don't do gaming stuff, but if I give access to every gaming item in there that's available and customers could order it at any time, that is a big deal. So
we've had a couple of our mail order customers do that, on the phone and emailing.
Yeah,
where they've had you order stuff for them through Diamond. But yeah, if it's on the FOC, then that's amazing.
Yeah, that's my hope. So
I've ordered a fair amount of board games through the shop, but I had to sort of pay attention to new to order list and the full previews and that kind of stuff.
Yeah, a lot of UI updates coming in the next. And kind of fixes the Comic Hub in the next couple months.
Hopefully they took some of your input.
I hope so. I sure gave a lot. Marvel, let me actually grab that. I don't want to misquote any of this. Marvel and Boom have both announced some things they're going to be doing for comic book stores. Boom has the Day One program coming up. They are going to be offering a bunch of things for comic book stores to kind of help give us, additional material to sell and freebies and cool things to give out. Some of it's just for customer loyalty. Some of it's to make money on. Every week beginning May 20th, they are going to have full returnability on their comic books. So if you're a comic book store, Boom is going to have they're going to They're going to expand their returnability program.
But I mean, Boom's been doing good anyway. So their numbers are already like solid.
Yeah, Boom's doing the less is more thing. They've cut their output, but kicked up the quality.
Yeah.
And it's showing on a few of their indie lines. We haven't had a lot of success with their kids lines, unfortunately, but their regular line of kind of more adult aimed comics we've been really successful with. They're going to do rare variant cover gift sets. Rare and popular variant covers from previous books are going to be sent directly to Diamond accounts to do whatever you want with. We could sell them. We can give them away.
Nice.
There are going to be additional monthly store variant covers. So these are rare one per store covers, which again those go for premium. And they're trying to give us again some more free rare books to sell. They're going to do a lot of deep discounting on their graphic novels and collections, so we can make a little bit of additional money when we sell that. They're also going to do a big backlist title discount for recent early volumes, including All My Friends Are Ghosts, Something Is Killing the Children, some of the Jim Henson books. There's going to be, this is interesting, they're going to do an affiliate affiliate sale opportunity. So this is similar to bookstores have been working through a company called bookshop.org. I know there's a lot of comic book stores that don't have an online capability. Boom's going to help them out to sign up through Bookshop, which is you're basically fulfilling. It's kind of like Amazon, but like it goes out to bookstores. So we could make a bookshop.org page. It gets filled by the publishers and distributors and all that, but we get some of the money for the physical product. I mean, for us, we just do it through our own storefront. But for people that don't have strong online storefronts, they have that, and they can get some money from that. And additional. They had a bunch of convention exclusives that obviously they can't do anything with, so they're going to start selling those and giving those out to comic book stores as well. So, really cool to Boom. There's a lot of good stuff that they're going to be doing. Marvel has we don't know a lot of the specifics from Marvel, but similar plans. They're really reducing their amount of collections out just so they want to slowly get everyone back to normal. Let's see, I had a list here. Where is it? Free promotional items, free variants, deep discounts on backlists. So more of that's going to be getting announced soon. And Marvel's been really good about hooking up stores with variant covers. I know we got like a box from them one time. They're like, I don't know why, but we got a box of Marvel variant covers, and I was like, okay, this is sweet. So they, you kind of have.
Was that during the move? When you were doing the spin wheel and such? Or?
No. It was like, maybe it was like the Christmas after. Maybe it was right after that. Yeah, it was Christmas, but maybe was it last year or 2 years ago?
You gave me a Christmas gift out of that.
I did.
Yeah.
But they're gonna have a bunch more additional like kind of high tier stuff for stores to. Again, it costs Marvel $1 to make a super rare variant cover, and a store could sell it for $500. Right? I mean, it's basically free money. And they're taking a bunch of their big graphic novel. Toby Bendis, Daredevil by Bendis and Maliv Omnibus Volume 1 and 2 coming back into print. You got both of those? Is that the one you just picked
today
up?
From you.
That's the one you picked up, right?
Yeah.
Well, they're coming back again.
Huh.
As well as the Uncanny X-Force by Remender Omnibus, the Wolverine Omnibus, X-Men Shattershot, Black Widow Omnibus, some of their out-of-print trades.
Can you send me a list of all of that?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, some of their out-of-print omnibuses.
Damn, that means I could have waited on that Daredevil book today. I like how you, just slightly don't mention it until I pay for it, and then in the evening you're like, oh yeah, that's coming back in print. And here I'm, freaking out. I need to buy it now!
Well, you bought it. I mean, you were going to buy it anyway, so...
Yeah.
So they're trying to get some of the more stuff back in print, as well as things like I asked them about I had a couple of people asking about the Venom incentive variant covers, and I don't know if they're just gonna pulled the incentive covers off our order page. I think they may just send them to us and not have to order it. I don't exactly know what's going on there, because there was a a 1 in 100, 1 in 500, all these high-end variant covers for Venom, and they were not orderable when we did our orders on Monday. So I wonder if they might just be sending those out to shops. Just be like, if you hit it, you hit it. If you didn't, you didn't. Here you go, have it. So I don't know.
It would make sense with a lot of shops having to adjust for not being able to make their sales that they would normally.
Right. Yeah, we just don't know what they're doing with that, but interesting. So, so that's comic books. A lot of good stuff coming. Stuff coming back in the print. A lot of good support for the stores and retailers. And if you're a comic book fan, they're going to start shipping soon. So, obviously, if you're in California, the next couple days are going to be important because hopefully you'll be able to at least do curbside pickup if your shop's not doing it already. But this will be kind of a statewide approval of it. If you are in one of these states that are open and your comic book store is open, be smart, wear that mask, don't hang out at the shop all day. I mean, I know you love hanging out. I've had more customers that I could count that are like, I just want to go back to the shop and hang out. And I'm like, I know, trust me, we'll get there, but we're all going to be smart for now. So
you just need to host an evening Discord, an evening chat with the Higgins, right? Like, just have everybody that just comes onto Discord. Hi.
Well, I did have fun checking. I did have fun when I did my my little Instagram live thing. I'm bummed that Twitch. Internet at the store is just the worst. I was really disappointed that it didn't work the way I wanted it to, because clearly streaming from my camera phone and our phone camera and streaming from the computer on an HD, the capture device is obviously a little bit different. So, but let's see if I can do it another one. Maybe we'll do it when we're doing check-in, or if we're at the store, if I'm doing something, because I've got kind of a weird week or two while we get ready for inventory's done, everything's shipped.
Yeah,
I have my endless back room to deal with, but
all of our shipping stuff is on top of the package.
Yeah. Well, I think we're gonna start cleaning up soon.
Yeah.
So we're gonna start cleaning up, getting the store back to normal. And even if we can't do curbside on the 20th, I expect we will by June. Even if we can't do it on May 20th, but
we can still do delivery, right?
I mean, sure, yeah. A lot of places have been doing curbside, even though they're not really supposed to. We've done it occasionally where customers, they just didn't know, right? They're like, oh, I'm going to come pick it up. And we're like, oh, but okay, well, here you go. But we can't really do this. Yeah. There are other stores that are doing it regularly. And I'm like, oh, okay, all right.
Good luck with that.
Well, like I said, this week we'll know exactly what's going on.
Cool.
So if you do get the go-ahead to do curbside, are you going to do it just under specific hours, or are you going to just do it normal business hours, or what would be your actual rollout plan for that?
Well, I still want to keep the employees as minimal as possible, especially if it's nothing really to we're not having customers in the store. We don't ever, short of processing day, where it'll probably be me and Marshall. But again, we'll stay clean and socially distant and all that.
I've seen a lot of stores post, we only do curbside pickup for these 3-hour windows twice a week or whatnot.
Right. What I will probably do is adapt the schedule that me and Brock have had, where one of us is going in each day, alternating to take care of shipping. I've been doing the ordering. He's been doing the shipping, and whoever's there rings up online orders, processes them, yada yada yada. But we can have the open sign on and the curbside for those hours. Yeah. So it wouldn't be 11 to 7. It would be noon to 5. But we could do it. It's
more like 1 to 4. For me, it's normally 1 to 4, just because I get there from because the kids still have school and lunch, and Mondays I got to pick up the books. So,
whatever the hours end up being, it doesn't really matter. But yeah, it would be limited. It wouldn't be like traditional business hours, and we don't. It'd be closed Sunday, Monday. There's no reason to be open those days. So, yeah, that'd be the plan. Marshall, he's doing a lot of eBay stuff and eBay listing, and he could do that from the stores, and he could still do the curbside pickup. Obviously, everything I do when I'm there, I could still do curbside. But yeah, I don't expect customers will be in the store anytime soon. July, August, maybe. We'll see. We'll see what happens this summer. We'll see if it settles down. But they jumped to that phase 2 pretty quick. I actually thought it may be a little bit longer. California numbers are good.
Happens.
Yeah, California numbers are level. We're lower per capita. We're pretty low comparatively. We're a huge state, but it's still climbing.
It's not all like doing our part of it. The minute we start going back out into stores, numbers might just go right back up.
So that's one of the things I'm really curious about, because obviously in grocery stores and places that have been mission critical, they have made a lot of changes that I don't see going away, like the plexiglass shields and some of that stuff is just going to be the new normal in a lot of those cases. And I'm curious to see how much of that stuff you start seeing other places. Like I don't expect restaurants are going to be anywhere close to the way they are now for years.
Not for years. Yeah. Well, even with us, unfortunately, I'm going to have to tell people, even if we're open, you can't hang out. You kind of got to get your thing and go. And that is tough
for some of your customers. Right?
That is tough for the comic book store.
One including being me.
Yeah.
Well, people love to hang out and talk. And I don't blame them. I love it, right? But we can't have 7 people standing around. Not now, right? And just shooting the shit for 3 hours. That's just not how that's not going to work. Not yet.
It goes back to Brock's suggestion of get the Discord fully up and running, let people join the voice chat and all that, and shift that as much there as possible.
Yeah, just do the Wednesday evening with the Higgins. And just
a lot of comic stores do that. I totally can, especially if this stays for a while. But I think a handful of the people that like to hang wouldn't ever know how to use Discord or a chat program.
Oh, they've learned how to do it with Zoom, man. They're in the Google Meets now.
Yeah. We could do a store Zoom. That'd be fun.
So, I'll be in on that.
So,
who knows?
And to think all the companies at this point have put out Zoom backgrounds people can set. So
we tried to do it. It wouldn't work on our computer. It wasn't strong enough.
Everybody could do the comic conspiracy background, so it's like we're all hanging out.
I got the windows behind me.
Yeah. You get the counter. You're the only one that gets a special one.
Yeah.
Everybody else has to pick a corner in the store.
Yeah, that's great.
Great. I know. I can't wait for the text message from Ryan. Take pictures of just random background images for the store. I need them for Zoom meetings. Yay.
So we'll see what happens. Yeah. Again, every week is new. We just don't know.
Yeah.
If you're in a comic book store, if you're in a state that's open and your comic book store is open, let me know how that is on May 20th. I really want to know, because the places that are opening that I'm hearing, I'm watching CNN, I'm watching the news, they're like, yeah, we're opening, but people still aren't coming, right? Yeah. I think even in those states where things are opening,
it's going to take a while, I think.
Yeah,
it's gonna. Comic book people they want this stuff, right? No one's canceling. I've talked with almost every customer, and no one's canceling. I select people here and there temporarily, but I've not had anyone be like, I am out. I am ruined. This is over.
You've had selective trimming. You've had maybe something added here, but nothing I'm done. Yeah.
Well, and we're lucky in the Bay Area because again, we have a lot of tech workers. We have a lot of people that it's affecting them, but it's not affecting their job per se. Not yet. 6 months from now, who knows?
Yeah, I'm actually a little more curious to see how people react to smaller amounts of stuff coming out for months and then seeing where the ramp up happens or that kind of thing. Because, to go back to what you were talking about, people are used to coming to the shop and spending a certain amount of money on the books that are coming out and that kind of stuff. And we're
It's almost like you have to return
not
them.
going to be at that normal for a long time.
Yeah.
Well, you know, the $50 customers are going to have $15 worth of books. The $100 customers are going to have like $20 or $30 books, and that will just slowly ramp up. It's even DC. They have some bigger weeks coming, but it's like one big book and then a couple, like a lot of like regular books. Even DC is not going out like full blast, like with like 18 titles in a week or something like that. They're still taking it a little quieter. Marvel, very quiet. Image and a lot of the indie companies had already cut back. So this 2020 was already quality over quantity with every company just because everyone except for Marvel had cut way back already. So things had shifted, and we're going to be a little... It's not going to be as shocking on like by the time we hit like July, get through June, and I think July will look little bit more normal.
Now, is anybody going to go see Wonder Woman at a drive-in?
I don't. It's not coming out. It's not happening. There's no chance. No, none of it. Not, man, even like Black Widow saying like November. I don't think.
Well, no, because drive-ins are supposed to be part of the thing that's opening in this second wave. So
there's no drive-ins in California anymore.
Yeah, we do. We have one at Capitol.
Yeah, but
like
Marvel's
I said,
not going to release
no
any movie for just drive-ins.
Yeah.
No.
And there's
Or DC, Warner Brothers, I mean, yeah.
there's not much in the way of movies to support a movie business right now. And
Yeah.
there was a lot of speculation even going into this if AMC would even reopen.
Yeah. Period.
Yeah.
Like go out of business.
Well, and they on smartly now don't want to show any Universal movies.
Oh, that's I don't get that entire like dick swinging contest.
Honestly,
it's the
I think
weirdest
they're
thing.
going to figure things out by the time if theaters actually do open up again, they're going to figure that out by then. It's not going to.
Yeah.
There's no way a theater chain just goes, we're not going to play your movies. There's no way.
Right. Not Universal. I mean, that's Fast and the Furious.
Exactly.
There's no chance in hell.
Yep.
Millie and I were talking about this. She was like, would you like, do we want to watch these movies here? And I'm like, well, yeah, I would if that's the only option. I got a nice big TV, a nice big fancy TV, but I'd still rather be in the theater for Wonder Woman. I'd still rather be in the theater for Black Widow, right?
Yeah.
I think there's something about getting in your car, driving to the place, and walking.
It's an event, yeah. Because here's the thing. No matter how good Wonder Woman is, my phone's sitting right there, and at some point, I'm going to grab it because I'm an idiot. In the theater, I don't have that temptation still.
Yeah.
But even just like...
Well, like for me and where the shop is, we were supposed to get an AMC opened up.
Well,
Yeah,
in Sunnyvale.
It exists. It's already there.
it's there, but I don't think it never opened, right?
No. Opened. But the signage is up, and the building exists. It's just... We'll see if it even actually gets opened at this point.
Yeah, that's so weird.
The signage can just as easily just come right back down.
This is true.
Yeah, I guess the main thing for me, and part of that is we're definitely spoiled to a degree in the Bay Area with the number of theaters.
Yes.
But there is a part of me that's like, if AMC goes under, what does that even do to like potential box offices if they lose that many theaters?
Oh, that's humongous.
Yeah.
AMC has what, like 2,000 screens? They're like half the movie theaters in the country,
Yeah.
or like,
I mean, it's
or like,
legal, right? They're the main two.
Yeah.
They're like
or like 2/5 of the theaters in the country. It's a fucking like they're talking about like maybe 200 comic book stores closing. Imagine if 1,000 comic book stores closed, right? Half the stores in the country. That is, I mean. It's fun. I actually talked about this on Twitter too. I didn't even think about it. The sales charts, we're not even going to do sales. There's not really a point to do sales charts anymore. With DC pulling out from those distributors, a not insignificant portion of their subscription base or of their customer base has left Diamond. The Diamond sales charts no longer represent DC sales as
a whole.
They don't represent DC sales they never did it as a whole, but they did for the entire U.S. market. Now they're not going to have sales for Midtown and DCBS, the two biggest retailers in the country. So that is, I thought it was like 10-15%. Someone told me it was only 5%, but still 5% is 5%. You're going to have a clean sweep of Marvel in the top 10 every single month without those companies'
especially
sales.
If you factor in the trades, I'm sure it's even more than that in some ways.
Yeah. Well, DCBS owns in stock,
I know.
trades, so that is a humongous
based on
audience.
The little bit that I've noticed, their volume in trades and stuff is
their volume, their quantity over quality. So but movies, it's gonna be real weird. And what did Trolls do? Like 100 million digitally?
Really?
Fuck, didn't it?
Yeah, that's what they were quoting. Yeah,
I mean, I don't know that Wonder Woman would do 800 million like it would in the theater, or 700 million like it would in the theater.
There's no way it would. But
they don't have to pay the theater a penny. Mm-hmm. They don't have to deal with any. I mean, the numbers might just. I mean, 500 million might just be the new billion, but it might make sense.
I tell you, Wonder Woman comes out, I definitely just fork out for it and watch it at home.
But here's the thing: a lot of the movies, most of the movies that have come out this way, the theater at home, are digital purchases. They're not digital rent. Like the first couple were digital rents,
right?
But a lot of the ones that came out after that have been digital purchase.
Yeah, which is fine.
So, what that would do if Wonder Woman went that way is you're not just looking at the revenue that they would potentially be losing out on in the theaters. There's that double dip revenue of people who would buy it digitally or whatnot when it comes out. Especially if you've already purchased it digitally, what's the chances of you, not you being us, but because I'd still end up buying it on disc. But your average person,
right.
Yeah. So I think there's a lot of factors that go in there. The thing I'm actually most curious about, especially with the way this pandemic has affected things, I don't think you're going to see box offices like you used to for potentially 2 years from now kind of thing, especially before the vaccine and all of that, which means do we start seeing more of these movies not greenlit for $300 million to be made, but do we start seeing more of a scale back to do the 100 million or less more often? Because that does support more digital releases and more not as successful theater releases and that kind of thing. Like, there is that sort of reality of the amount of money that was spent on Wonder Woman, the amount they're going to get back is already inherently going to be smaller than it was prior to this.
Well, they are fucking lucky Endgame came out when it did. Yeah. Because if Endgame was supposed to be out this year, that would have Marvel's actually lucky that they have like a small year this year planned. That gives them a little bit of a buffer.
Yes, it does.
Now, do we still think nobody's ever going to see New Mutants?
Ah, jeez. Poor New Mutants, man. No, and that is the perfect movies that just dump digitally because it'll make way more money. It won't make way more money, but it will make equivalent money. I think if you were going to see it, you'll see it.
Well, plus, I mean, my thought on New Mutants is all that money was sort of spent prior to the Fox Disney purchase stuff.
Right.
And what that basically means is that's not money that Disney invested into that movie.
Right.
No.
Even though they're the ones who would be getting whatever money that movie makes.
Yeah. Huh.
So they can afford to just drop it digitally or whatnot, or use it to prop up. Like, obviously I would not expect a movie like that to go to Disney Plus, but I could see them doing something.
I expect they'll drop the X-Men movies on Hulu, yeah. I don't think they'll put them on Disney Plus.
Yeah.
Deadpool and all that. Well, we will see. The next few weeks should be interesting for comic book releases. We'll obviously, on the 19th, when we're putting out our first stack of books, we'll have a nice podcast that night talking about Sure,
good old days.
It's coming up. Yeah, the good old days.
The good old...
Wait, are we going to actually be at the shop?
We'll get there again.
I am curious.
No.
With the shift to Tuesday releases for DC, are you going to start putting the DC books out on Tuesday?
No.
Okay.
No, we switched back to Diamond, so we're getting everything from Diamond. Like next week's books are scheduled that we will receive the DC books on Monday, right? Mm-hmm. There was actually a message in the podcast thread. Let me grab that before we get to our questions here.
Did you have to order the DC stuff separately from the other distributor? Did you have to cancel your Diamond orders on the DC stuff, or you just
what DC did was they canceled everyone's orders for every DC title.
Oh, so you have to reorder.
Right. So we went. So they had on the FOC on the weekly order page. They said, okay, everyone's DC orders are 0. If you want to put your original numbers in, all you got to do is click a button. Boop. All your original numbers come back. But if you're switching to one of the other distributors, we've zeroed out your orders so you do not accidentally double dip. Now, I'm sure that meant some stores
didn't pay attention,
oblivious, but well, fuck them. I mean, that's their own fault.
You're getting so vicious.
Dude, look, if you don't know how a computer works at this point in fucking 2020, I don't know what's wrong with you. There was a message, and I didn't want to call this guy out. Where was it? It's on here somewhere. Where he was talking about what we had said last week on the podcast. Some Steve says DC moving to Tuesdays will achieve one simple thing, and that may be in their rationale. When comic stores stick to Wednesdays, DC had managed to shift graphic novel releases to a day after Amazon rather than 6 days before, and they have an excuse. You could sell it on the same day. We're not disadvantaging you. Isn't this simpler than the long theories on the podcast? And I think that's what I eventually settled on. That's exactly what's going on, is that DC's doing this so everything gets released on Tuesdays. We can sell them on Wednesday or on Tuesday if we want, but almost no store will. It's our choice, even though it's not really our choice. But we have the ability.
I know you posted last week after the podcast. You posted, I think, on the Wednesday, the next day, your vote thread, and everybody on that thing basically said, "Yeah, I just go once. Yeah, I pick up my books on Wednesday." Like it does not affect the customer base.
Well, the results of that poll. So I had 4 questions, 3 questions, 4 questions.
I think it was 4.
One was, would you switch stores if your store was releasing DC Comics on Wednesday and a competing store is releasing them on Tuesday? And all these results were over 10%, but none of them were over 20%, and that's not insignificant at the end of the day. Most people are not going to do any of this stuff, but if I lost 10% or 12% of my customers because another store is going to put them on Tuesday, that's a lot. Another one I had was, would you switch to digital if digital is Tuesday and physical is Wednesday, right? And again, it was only maybe 10 or 11%, but that's a lot at the end of the day. The one that actually got the most replies was, if Amazon gets the book a day early, or even same day, even on Tuesday, would you switch to buying from Amazon just out of the price factor or convenience of Amazon? And almost 20% of people said yes, they would not buy the graphic novel from their local comic shop. They would buy it from Amazon instead. And that is exactly what I think is the main source here. Not specifically that DC wants comic stores to lose out money to Amazon, but by getting the stuff out at the same time, Amazon is not behind the release date. They're live with comic book stores. Clearly, that is going to help Amazon and not comic book stores. That is frustrating. But again, it's an internet poll. I don't know. It's not scientific, but it's interesting.
For me, this just kind of feeds into that midnight release thing that's happened for sort of key books like Metal and that Yeah. I'm assuming that you would absolutely do the Tuesday release for something like Batman 50 or Metal 2.
Oh, yeah. But even those, right, when they've done those in the last couple times, every comic book has been available for sale that night. Marvel and DC and every independent company and Diamond said, yeah, you could sell everything that night. But to me, that's not the purpose of a midnight release. The midnight release is for that book. I don't want to have every book on the shelf. The midnight release is for that one issue.
Well,
yeah,
so,
but I'm just saying in terms of there have been a handful of, well, not a handful. There have been a lot of books since the time I've been shopping at Conspiracy where I arrived while you were processing the order because I was dying to read that issue.
Oh, and that's going to be really tough, right? Yeah. Batman 92. How many calls am I going to get on Tuesday saying, "Well, it's out now"? What do you mean you don't have it, right? Yeah. Speculators are going to fucking ruin that shit. But I still believe very, very few stores will put that stuff out on Tuesday. I just don't have the time, right?
Well, the thing is like a midnight release is like we would have midnight releases where people would come in and basically kind of, you know, they would buy, like we'd open at 10, they would technically buy the book at 10, but they couldn't leave with it. Right, but it was people hanging out and enjoying and talking and all that stuff.
Yeah,
and then at midnight, everybody would come and get their books and take them, or they would pay for what they got. That way, we weren't there until 2:00 in the morning waiting. You know, we put the one thing out, we sell for an hour, and then we spend the rest of the night putting the rest of the stuff out.
The midnight thing is almost a bad example because even if they offered to do midnight release things, there's no way anybody would do it right now in the pandemic.
Yeah,
but the whole idea
release on a Monday night. Oh,
some books being that hot that people will be clamoring to get them wherever they can as early as they can is something that the comic industry has already shown. Like, how many things have gotten spoiled on Tuesday because they had to make sure that the news and everything kind of hit around that? I kind of feel like this is one of those weird cases where, at least on the DC side, there's always going to be that book where it's just like, this is the super hot this minute book that if some people are putting it out, it's already going to be all over the news, what happened. I'm curious to see how this shift translates for those.
Well, that is what I was saying. The amount of speculation is going to go crazy for the people that can get those books one day early, right? That one day early guarantee, you're the guy on eBay with the copies to sell. Yeah. You set the price, right? I don't know if this is going to last. I understand, again, and also, this is a move by Diamond. Or this is a move by DC to like, you know, reposition with Diamond to negotiate rates and yada yada yada. There's a lot of reasons they're doing this. The you know, lining up with media release day is obviously a big part of it too. But I just can't. I
agree with you.
It's too much work for most stores.
The reality of the fact that this is just DC right now, I completely agree with you. Most people aren't going to bother with it. But there is sort of that speculation that says, okay, if DC shows, they get a certain amount of uptick because of this or whatnot. It's very easy to see other publishers might go into the same thing of like, well, if DC's selling it this day, we want that same opportunity.
That is the change from if DC does it and it works, everyone will switch. All right. Exactly. Oh, the other poll I put up was would you go to your local comic shop twice a week? And again, most people said no. However, like 15% of people said yes, I would. So
those are the guys that like to hang out.
They're already there twice a week.
Sometimes three times.
Unless something drastic changes, I have no interest or ability to put out books, even from DC, you know, a day early. It's too much work, and we're doing other stuff. Everything's set for Wednesday. It would mean secondary distributors. It would mean extra shipments. It just is not feasible. So, yeah. All right, we got some questions on the Twitters. I blanked entirely to get the Patreon post up. Patreon people, I'm very sorry. I really meant to do that this week, and I completely forgot. But we got a couple questions on Twitter. Got to get to these. From our good friend Jeremy, he says, do you guys plan on putting up barriers in your store around your front counter?
Oh, dear.
A job for Brock.
He runs a shop.
great.
He says, we're actually producing a 10 by 10 foot by 10 foot grid on the store floor. One person per square. Only 5 people allowed at a time. 5-minute time limit to ship. Must-wear face coverings. Now, they're in Texas, which is open, but they still are doing they're enforcing like social distancing and
mask wearing
and
and
mask
stuff like
and
that.
everything like that, which is very smart. But they are open, so no, we will not be doing anything like that. There's not really a point. We're going to be one of the last stores. We're the first to close. We'll probably be the last to open, unfortunately.
If you had a glass cube that you hang out inside like Bubble Boy, would you just let people hang out in the store again? Maybe people want that. Maybe it's not about you, Ryan. Maybe the people want it. So they can just hang out.
Because it would feel like a goddamn pawn shop. Ugh.
I could see. I mean, if there was like, look, you can open, but you have to be under some massive form of protection to open. I could see doing like the plexiglass thing around the front counter.
Yeah.
And just like a slot, have the credit card there for touchless, and a slot. They bag and board their own comics. I just scan things in. I mean,
you just watch them and go, you actually did it wrong.
I don't want
Every
to
time.
do this, right?
Higgins will be like, you're doing it wrong. You're doing it wrong.
Yeah.
You're doing it wrong.
Every transaction will just...
You did it backwards.
Every transaction will just take 10 minutes, and I'll just sit there and watch as they struggle to put a comic in a bag and board.
Oh, shit.
I just can't wait till you put the little sign up that says, please bag and board within your car.
But it depends what they tell us, right? I mean, if they're like, yeah, you can be open, but you have to wear a mask, employees have to wear a mask, you have to have sanitation, you have to limit how many people are in the store, you have to limit their time.
Oh, that's going to
be a lot of that, right?
If we have to use gloves, that's going to be tricky with comics. Because who knows how the gloves will react to, the different types of gloves will react to the different type of cover stocks.
Nah, it's not going to affect it. I don't think. I mean, the gloves are less important. The hand sanitizer obviously helps that, but it's just washing your hands. It's more the masks. The masks are way more important. But yeah, no massive change to the store unless.
If we open and we have to wear masks as employees, are you going to provide us with comic book related mask coverings?
If I can get some, sure.
Sweet.
Sure.
Toby's
From
already
Armando,
calling Black Cat.
From Armando, he says, whatever happened to Christopher Mueller? Moeller? Moeller? I loved his Iron Empire stuff. I remember him doing covers for Lucifer. I met him at Wizard World Philly years ago in the mid-90s. I feel like he fell off the face of the earth. I don't know.
Apparently he did, because Ryan doesn't know who he is.
Person at all. Apparently he's done like novel covers. He's still doing Iron Empire stuff, yeah. Here you go. Hey, he did artwork for the Magic the Gathering and World of Warcraft trading card games.
Oh, I'll keep him busy.
So there you go. Yep. I don't know how much he's still doing stuff, but yeah. Looks like he's been moved over to gaming.
Some of these artists switch around. I mean, they just disappear. They usually found a different field where they're more comfortable or happier in.
Or
how many of these people got picked up by Hollywood? Yeah.
Huh.
Or work in tech, do tech design stuff.
We want storyboards.
Yeah, there's a lot of people that do that now. From Norman, he says, how have the quality of books been from the new distributors? Any damaged product or missing product? No. So this was like our first real shipment today. The other shipment was so tiny. This one was actually a couple boxes.
They shipped us the wrong thing.
But that was not them. I think that was DC. That Batman Giant, as far as I know, the wrong cover went out to the distributors.
Okay.
Everything was fine so far. No damages. No missing product. Numbers were right. I mean, there was little scuffs here and there, but that's from the printing. That's not from them.
I'm curious, just because I did read some articles online that made it seem like at least right now, the shipping from the new distributor seems to be a little bit better than Diamond. Is that true? Or because Diamond has sort of the custom boxes and stuff for sizing, is that not I'm just curious.
It's better, but it's way more expensive.
Okay.
So they're basically using the printer boxes. So Diamond has their own custom boxes that everything gets moved into. These guys, at least for Lunar, are using the printer boxes. So the boxes that come from the printer to the distributor, they're using those boxes, which are perfectly fine. They're not as strong as Diamond, but they're perfectly fine boxes. They're doing layers of bubble wrap on the top if there's extra space. Those boxes are then loaded into a larger box, much like Diamond. However, unlike Diamond, there is extra space around the edges for additional bubble wrap, which in theory is protecting the boxes more than the Diamond boxes. Now, we are lucky because we use FedEx and everything is shrink wrapped on a pallet, and we have very little problem with shipping damages. UPS is fucking horrible and destroy these loose boxes like nobody's business. So I would think if you're a UPS store, these are coming much better. For us, it's basically the same. So, but yeah, they work.
They're using bubble wrap, which I don't, but I would use bubble wrap like that.
Yeah, no, it's good. The book distributors do a very similar thing too. The problem, man, you think Diamond's bad? Oh, those orders from the book distributors, the damages were very minimal, and I'm surprised because they were. It's just like loose boxes, loose books thrown in a box with some bubble wrap on top, and I'm like, how did this not just get destroyed?
I think the scariest thing about the shipments that we get from the book distributors is that it's printed on dot matrix printer paper.
Oh, well, that's all these distributors are way out of date.
Whoa.
Diamond is so far ahead of all of them. Yeah, it's a couple dot matrix.
Ryan, the scary part...
Still out there.
Wait, the scary part, Ryan, is that we probably have listeners that don't even know what dot matrix printers are. I want you to think about that.
It's that...
Yes, I love the fact that the best way to describe it is the noise that it makes while printing.
It's like dot matrix printer.
That's pretty good mimicking, too, Ryan.
Dot matrix printer and the modems, right? I mean, it's like those are the noises we would hear because it would take because you dial the internet and it prints something on a dot matrix printer, and it's just constant noise coming out of your computer.
No, it's still not as therapeutic as an old typewriter.
Although it was answered by the always wonderful Hellboy_ebooks on Twitter, we did get a question from Ohio Geek that said, "Am I understanding this correctly? Is Lunar/UCS, those two new distributors we keep talking about, now the exclusive distributor for DC? If so, what impact will this have on the point of sale systems? And will we see any breaks or holes in our pull list?" So I've gotten this question quite a few times actually, so I did want to answer this on the podcast. No, comic book stores can still get comic books from Diamond for DC. They can get them from these two new distributors. There is a little bit of a shipping delay to Diamond. The last week, this week, and next week, we are getting books from Lunar, so we are getting them early. All of those same books will hit Diamond and be released to your local comic shop on May 20th if they're not using the other distributors. No books are getting left out. No books are getting moved. Like, the Diamond order list for this week had Batman number 95 on it. Shipping on the 20th. That was the original ship date of Batman 95. Those lists are not accurate because they don't become accurate till Friday morning when the order page goes live. So these Newsarama sent out an email that said, "Here's every book shipping on the 20th." And I'm like, dude, your DC list is not right. This is the list from the 20th, not this. And they're like, well, this is what Diamond sent us. And I'm like, no. That's the FOC list, which is not updated till Friday morning. So nothing is getting missing. Nothing is getting left out. It doesn't matter who your store orders from. Now, if you want books on Tuesdays, that's different because the other distributors are likely to get the comic store books on Monday so they can put them out on Tuesday. However, again, that is not a guarantee that your store is going to do that. I would, in fact, say it's highly unlikely your store is going to do that. But there's nothing is exclusive. Diamond's not losing anything. Comic shops aren't going to miss anything unless they're not paying attention and not ordering comics. That's way more likely that they're just fucking oblivious and don't realize that they had to order this stuff again. So it's confusing, but if you're not paying attention, I don't know what you're doing. It's your business. It's your job. You should be. So that's it.
Any more questions? We
got one last one. Actual question from Hellboy_ebooks. New Patreon backer. We'll get to him in a minute here. He says, what is the best of the worst comic book movies? And then he says,
what?
He says, what is the best of the quote-unquote worst comic book movies?
Oh, it's easy. It's Batman
Hold on, because then he says, Dick Tracy is really fun. The fuck? Dick Tracy is not the worst comic book movie. Dick Tracy is amazing. It's amazing. It's always amazing. It's always one of the best comic movies of all time. It was never on any sort of worst list, and if you put it on a worst list, you're wrong. Toby says Batman Forever. I actually agree with that. Yeah. Batman Forever, I think, is better than people give it credit for.
Yeah.
It's got some problems.
Oh, yeah. It's got major problems.
But, I mean, Kissed by a Rose, it's a 90s staple.
I will defend Batman Forever.
Yes.
Yeah.
There's no defending Batman and Robin.
Now, we all know Toby's favorite bad comic book movie.
Oh.
Elektra?
Oh,
of course, Daredevil. Of course, Daredevil.
Toby,
Daredevil is now
I'm with you.
A bad comic book movie, Toby.
Toby, I'm with you. At least the director's cut is a good version of the film. I don't know. He hit his head as a child. That's all. That's the only explanation.
When did Daredevil come out? I don't remember what year.
Like 2001 or 2 or 3.
When Daredevil came out, it was like better than most, right? Now. I don't know.
See, I'm just going based on if we're going to start going based on some internet-defined, these are the bad comic book movies, then you also assume BVS would be on there and Man of Steel would be on there and we'll just stay here arguing all night. Also,
we're not talking about movies that age badly either. I mean, Batman Forever was not recorded as good then, right? It was... I mean, like I said, I enjoyed it, but it was not a good movie. On the other hand, though, when Batman and Robin came around, though, I was pissed the fuck off.
So for me, Batman and Robin were definitely high points. But like Batman Forever didn't ruin it for me, partly because I got a lot of the inside jokes from Batman 66 and that kind of stuff. And I was a big fan of Jim Carrey at the time, so it had that going for it too. So I just consider that kind of a fun movie, but it doesn't really hold a candle to Batman and Batman Returns.
Okay, so...
Like, if that movie came out first, I would have been all on board with it too. Just because, compared to no Batman movies or getting that Batman movie, I still would have considered it a step in the right direction.
Yeah. And then you got Batman and Robin, which was unbelievably bad. No, that's just bad.
Batman and Robin, for me, is just the one that just killed it.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Like, I kind of feel like Batman...
Oh, yeah, it did. It literally did.
Batman Forever didn't kill it at all. Like, people were still willing to go to the next movie. It was still a success. And
Well, it's weird that people look at it as, like, the 4 movies, right? Because technically the first 2 are Tim Burton and the second 2 are Schumacher. So in ways... I split them up, but although they're canon together.
It's because of Alfred.
Well, he's also the same Alfred in Birds of Prey.
I have a soft spot for the late 90s independent comic book movies.
Generation X?
Tank Girl, Judge Dredd, The Shadow.
No, Judge Dredd was
all
fun.
That stuff was great.
Yeah.
Like, they're bad, right? But they're...
I will forever have a soft spot for a super horrible Punisher movie with Dolph Lundgren.
Now, Leanne just mentioned Rocketeer. That's a little bit different. I haven't seen Rocketeer in fucking forever. I need to fix that.
It's on
that
Disney
is
Plus.
legitimately a good movie.
I've actually never seen it. Seen it. It's on Disney Plus.
It's great.
It's on my...
I love all those old, like, pulpy, cheesy sort of movies that came out back then.
How about The Phantom? with Billy Zane from Titanic.
Again, loved the Phantom.
Yeah, that was fun. The Spirit was bad.
Well, that's different.
Yeah, that wasn't
way
in that
later.
era of movies.
We're talking about the era pre Spider-Man, pre X-Men. He had that weird era of like a bunch of
There's a lot. There's a lot in there.
So Screen Rant has like 15 of the worst comic book movies since 2000. 15 is Green Lantern. 14 is Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Out of the Shadows.
Throw the list in the fucking garbage.
Hold on.
Wait, hold on. Did you just say Ninja Turtles?
Yeah, Out of the Shadows.
Yeah, but he's talking about the Michael Bay ones.
Okay, those are actually bad.
Yeah. X-Men Last Stand. Kick-Ass 2. Blade Trinity.
That was bad, but then I wish to make a documentary about the making of that movie. It's going to be the greatest documentary of
Ryan's going to argue with this one till the end of time that it's funny and it's a good movie. Ghost Rider Spirit of Vengeance.
Yeah. Oh, it's a bad movie.
I still haven't seen that one.
Yeah. Elektra is on this. Amazing Spider-Man 2.
Bad. What?
Amazing Spider-Man 2. Yeah.
Amazing Spider-Man 2.
Fantastic
I've never
Four.
seen Elektra. That's one of the best holes I haven't seen.
Elektra is a movie that couldn't make up its mind of what it wants to be. So therefore,
Elektra killed me because they were smart enough to put online, like, we're going to put online the first 5 minutes. And the first 5 minutes was a great Elektra movie.
Yeah. You should just
watch the first 5 minutes.
And just turn the movie off. You're going to have better memories than everybody else.
So they got Fantastic Four from 2015. Now, this one, I had no idea this was released. Man-Thing?
That was older, though.
That was the... Man-Thing was the made for...
It was the Sci-Fi Channel one.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was made for Sci-Fi.
Yeah. They have Wolverine Origins. Jonah Hex.
So therefore it's not bad.
The Spirit.
Real bad.
Son of the Mask.
I never saw that. Fuck that movie.
And their number one worst comic book movie of all time, or since 2000, is Catwoman.
That is pretty bad.
I mentioned this on a podcast a while ago. The only bit of Catwoman I saw was a couple years ago, New Year's Eve on the standard definition Oxygen cable channel.
Yeah.
That is how I saw
Oxygen.
I flipped through it. I'm like, holy shit! It's midnight, it's New Year's Eve. It's the standard definition version of the Oxygen channel, and they're showing Catwoman with commercials. This is how you watch this movie. And I got like 20 or 30 minutes through, and I'm like, it's real
fucking
bad. It's really
bad.
Yeah, I know. So that's definitely like Elektra. I legitimately would like to watch.
Dude, no.
You don't know.
Just the first 5 minutes.
Yeah.
And then stop.
Go to YouTube, watch the first 5 minutes.
Do yourself a favor and just watch the third season of Daredevil. You get a lot more out of that.
The bad ones are bad, even when they're good.
Yep. So there you go. That's another podcast. Thank you guys all for your continued support on the Patreon. We have a lot of Patreon backers we got to thank. It's the beginning of the month. We're going to thank all our wonderful Patreon backers. We have some new ones this month.
Uh-oh.
For our high tier guys, we're going to go through this list. We have Jesse Peterson.
Ooh.
Always talking on Twitter. Always liking my tweets. He's very active on there. Mm-hmm. Comic Book Matters podcast. So he does a comic book podcast. It's a podcast about how comic books impact us and change our lives. What a good sounding podcast, unlike this podcast. It sounds like a podcast that actually has a point. Are you quitting and going over to his? I'm just going to stop this one. I'll just listen to that one instead. So go listen to the Comic Book Matters podcast. Mr. Rama is back at Hellboy_ebooks on Twitter. He does a weekly pull list every Tuesday. Make sure you check out his pull list. Well, and that may change. If he's getting some DC books, maybe he's going to do it Mondays. I don't know. Chav, 1 month donation to help support the store and all our employees during the shutdown and everything. So thank you, Chav, for your donation to the Comic Conspiracy Patreon at patreon.com/Comic Conspiracy. We also have to thank our other high tier backers, Joe Duff Andrew Nelson Mendez at Recovery of an Anime Junkie podcast, James Laws, Jimmy Rivera at the Social Forum podcast, and, of course, Craig Anderson at CraigPAnderson.com, who just moved.
Oh, dude, have you seen his view?
Well, have you seen what they did to his boxes of comic books?
Yes.
Yeah, hey, he should have fucking carried that like a man himself if he was really worried about it. I don't care about it.
Is this on Facebook? I haven't seen.
Will always not trust anybody with his fucking books and do them all himself. Yeah.
This is true.
So no respect there, I'm sorry. But his view is freaking amazing.
Craig P. Anderson, you are not a true comic book fan. That's what Toby's he's throwing the gauntlet down.
I would never trust anybody. Not even
Fake
like
fan.
you guys. Not even you guys. I fucking will carry all the boxes myself. Which I sadly done a lot of times.
Hey, just so everybody knows, Toby won't even trust me, and I have exceptional packing skills.
Nope, do not touch my shit.
I am fine with everyone helping me move, so
yeah,
I don't want to
we know
those boxes another time. Thank you guys all for your very generous continued support at patreon.com/comicconspiracy. But that's not all, because we have all sorts of other backers that I need to thank for their continued ongoing support. Dennis Jansen, Edgar Moreno, David Safar, Christopher Noyes, Ivan Leskanik, Mark Long, Father Dante, Aaron Wright, Chris Palaki, Paula Schultz, Brian Morawski, Don Kilson, Tim from Virginia Beach, Andrew Cuscieri, Miles Gakula, David Baroldi. I think I just shipped out some books for him today. Chris Bunch, Alex McHale, List of the Living Dead, Chris Lockhart, Anirban Banerjee, Jack Ildefonso, PJ Ryder, Joe, sorry, I hit the wrong button. Let me go back there. Joe Cachadorian, of course, at Identity Stunt Comic. And he had some auctions up at the Creators for Comics. So
nice.
A couple bucks for comic stores. It's great. Bryce Larson quotes, now BLQ, maybe next week. I got to talk to Bryce. I got to see if he's going to be on next week. We'll see. Joseph Rodriguez, Robert Lane, Mason Barber, Ames Foster, Stephen Sepia, Brian Wyckoff, Tim Martin, Tyler Willits, Christopher Haith, Malvi, Zach Johnson, Verum Libertas, Andrew Nikovich, Wally Ansari, Timothy O'Brien, Mario Miranda, John Sep sounds right, Paul Evans, and Jeffrey Hirschman. Thank you all for your continued and generous support at patreon.com/comicconspiracy. Do not forget, we have our wonderful t-shirts for the store, and if you just cut off the S at the end, it can be a Comic Conspiracy Podcast t-shirt too.
Why don't we make those?
It's all the same. It's all the fucking same.
It's not. It's not.
So
fine.
What you're saying is we just need to get like an iron-on patch that you can add to the t-shirt?
Add the S. So again,
just take a Sharpie and write it on there.
That is at customink.com/fundraising/support-comics-conspiracy, or much easier, just go on any of our social media accounts and you'll find links to that shirt on there.
I'll have it on my poll list video this week too.
Comes in gray, black, and true royal blue.
Oh, true royal blue. Oh,
yeah,
sorry.
Yeah. It comes in, let me see, it comes in, what's YS? Is that youth small? Comes in youth small to 4XL. So hopefully you fit one of those sizes. And as always, go to comicconspiracypodcast.com, geekbox.net, Apple Podcast, and we're on Spotify for all our previous episodes. If you go to youtube.com/comicsconspiracy, you can hear all our episodes on there as well. And maybe that's where I'll do another live stream. Should do it on YouTube because
I would try YouTube out.
Yeah. I might just do it there on our own page. We'll see. See what I do. Instagram, that thing was a little wonky. I had to have it flip backwards because you can't read the chat in Instagram if the camera's facing the correct direction.
Oh yeah,
so I get another.
Weird.
Yeah,
you're Bizarro Orion.
Look,
You
you
gotta get
You're not
another
yelling
thing.
at kids.
I am way too old for the grams. Okay, like it's just not my style, not my speed. I do it when books. Actually, I got to start doing it again because books are starting to come out. I got to start.
You're gonna do it. You're gonna do it for the gram.
Yeah, my daily IG post. Yeah. Well, we'll get back on that. Maybe I'll try YouTube. The Comic Conspiracy at geekbox.net is where you can send us some emails.
That we'll read at some point, never.
And the most important website, comicsconspiracy.biz.
Mm-hmm.
That is where you can buy comic books directly from us that we will ship to you. You can buy them on there, and we'll pack them up and ship them out.
And
that's how we've been selling almost all our comic books in the last couple weeks.
And if you are ever curious about glowing reviews, check out our Twitter feeds because people are loving their packaging.
Yeah. Now, I can't help it when UPS or the Postal Service decides to just not
deliver,
shift 20 boxes between warehouses, and there's a bunch of them that are still out for delivery. That's not our fault. That's the post office fault. I'm not going to take. I'm just like Trump. That's not my fault. I don't take.
Oh wait, did some of our packages do the tour of California?
They're just sitting in a warehouse somewhere. They haven't been scanned. If you're waiting on a package, it probably is in that batch. That on the 19th of April was just not shipped to the next warehouse. So I've got tickets in. They're looking for them.
Jesus.
SpiritofBrock.com. That is Brock's blog, video pull-ups, and unboxing videos. You can go over there and watch him do his thing.
Mm-hmm.
Wanderers in the Fourth Dimension podcast. That is Charlie's Doctor Who podcast. Etsy.com/shop/Leanne Hill Art. That is my wife Leanne's Etsy store. You can buy some artwork from her. She's been shipping a lot of prints recently. A lot of sales on there. And LeanneHill.com, of course, is where you can just go see all her artwork and all links out to Etsy.
People are stuck at home in their houses, and what can they do? Oh, I hate this environment. I need to change it.
Yeah, that's something new. If you're on Twitter, please follow all of us. Ryan Higgins Ryan, that is me. Brock is Brock Sager. Bryce is Larson. Well, why am I saying Bryce? Bryce is on this podcast. But I'll tell you anyway, it's Larson Bryce. Toby is Toby XI. Charlie's Insanity and Chaos. The store is ComicsCon Store. And please listen to the Geek Box. I'm on that every week. We talked about how fucking terrible this season of Westworld was on last night's episode.
Hey,
especially the finale.
I haven't watched it. Knock it off. No, I don't want to hear anything. Stop.
It's just not good.
Whatever. I don't care. All right.
Charlie's
okay,
giving
fine.
me the look.
Fine. I will ask this. But
I'm going to find out one way or another in a few weeks.
A whole season or a finale?
Whole season.
Okay.
Basically, so I finally signed up for Disney Plus, so I've now watched The Mandalorian and Clone Wars.
Nice.
So at the end of the month, I'll switch from Disney Plus to HBO Max.
Subscribe once and never unsubscribe. What's wrong with you?
Well, I subscribed to HBO Max with the $11.99 discounts for a year, so now is probably the best time to do it. And I'm cutting cable out in August, so I'll just throw on Disney Plus in August. Then
I have to figure out if I get it for free. I have no idea because I have HBO, so maybe I get it for free. I don't know.
You should.
I will.
The stuff that I read suggests if you get it through the cable company or through HBO directly, you would get it for free.
Fantastic. Yeah, remember Westworld Season 1? Remember how good that was? Yeah, remember how Season 2 was kind of like, okay. Yeah, I don't.
It's not as bad as the last season of Dexter.
Well, no.
Okay, then we're good.
Nothing's that bad.
I still haven't even seen it.
It's real bad. But Westworld Season 3, man, like, what are you guys doing? Dolores, what? I don't get it. What the hell's going on? I think Ryan Scott said it perfectly. He's like, it's both the simplest show and the most mindlessly confusing show for no reason. So, there you go. Westworld. I don't know. Whatever, watch it if you like it. Cool. I didn't. But, whatever. I'll watch Season 4, I guess.
Yeah, that was my curiosity was, did it kill the interest for Season 4 or not?
The hook at the end was enough to get me to say, okay, I'll come back for Season 4 and see what's going on. Like a show's going to be really bad for me to drop it. Like, really bad.
Yeah.
It's not that point where I want to drop it. There's still stuff I like in it. But compared to Season 1, I don't know what they're doing.
Quick question. Did any of you see the trailer for Space Force on Netflix?
No.
It looks...
This is Geekbox talk.
It looks
We didn't talk about Space Force on
amazing.
Geekbox. Maybe they talked about that on the Manga Machinations podcast, but they probably didn't talk about it on there because they talk about Japanese stuff on there. And I don't think, well, I mean, there's lots of Space Forces in manga and anime, but probably not Space Force.
That's okay. There's plenty of anime on Netflix now, so.
I know. And I'm sure they talk about some of it on Manga Machinations because it's mostly manga, but they occasionally talk about anime. And I've been on that podcast a few times, so you should check it out. That is it. That is an episode.
Are you sure it's an episode?
Thank you guys all very much for listening.
Thank you, guys.
And
stay safe.
Go support your local comic book store. Go pick up some comics because there's new comics out this week from DC if you use one of those alternate distributors. Otherwise, 2 weeks, things kind of go back to some level of normalcy.
We're going to ease into it, but we're heading in the right direction, hopefully.
We're getting there. All right. Thank you guys very much. We'll catch you next week.